Selamat datang! Welcome to another episode of Happy Noodle TV. Now you may have heard what I just said there. It was Selamat datang, which is Bahasa for welcome. That's because we are going to be eating a dish which is popular in my parents' homeland of Malaysia, as well as Singapore and Indonesia. Today's noodle is Indomie mee goreng pedas. The manufacturer of this instant noodle is called Indomie, and Indomie is the largest instant noodle manufacturer in Indonesia. However, it wasn't until 1982 that Indomie was founded by Sudono Salim, a Chinese Indonesian. The following year, in 1983, Indomie released Indomie mee goreng, and it became very popular very quickly. However, Indomie mee goreng is actually inspired by a real dish called mee goreng, which stands for literally fried noodles. Mee goreng is popular not just in Indonesia, but also Malaysia and Singapore, and every time I go back to visit my family, I love to eat mee goreng. Now you may think that mee goreng is similar to Chinese fried noodles, but it does have a few differences. For example, we use sweet soy sauce to give it a sweeter flavour, and also we like to use sambal, which is this delicious spicy paste. There is also no pork or lard. We tend to just use prawns and some other meats like beef. However, back to Indomie. Today, Indomie produce mee goreng in many different flavours, everything from its original flavour to beef rendang. But today we're going to be reviewing Indomie mee goreng pedas. Now pedas means spicy, and it is my favourite flavour. I'm going to give you a quick demo of how to cook it with a fried egg on top. And I like to put a spin on the traditional sunny side egg, so let's go. So as we can see from unboxing our Indomie mee goreng, there is the block of instant noodles as always, but there are also some condiments, two types actually, liquid and powder. In the liquid condiments we have a sweet soy sauce, chili sauce, which I imagine is kind of trying to resemble sambal, some garlic flakes. Then in the dry seasoning powder section we have a packet of chili powder and a packet of seasoning powder. First I put the chili and seasoning powders into the bowl. After that I put in the fried onion, sweet soy sauce and seasoning oil packets. Use a small spoon or chopsticks to mix them all together. Whilst we fry the egg, boil the noodles in 500 milliliters of hot boiling water in another pan. The amount of oil we're using here will stop the egg from sticking so easily to the pan. Alternatively, you could use less oil and use a non-stick pan, but I'm using a steel pan here. Put a little bit of white or black pepper and salt to give it taste. I like to add white or black sesame seeds to add texture and some decoration. I also add a little bit of sesame oil to give it that delicious sesame seed taste. It intensifies and brings out the flavour of the egg. Fry the egg until it is fairly well done, but whilst the yolk is still runny. After the noodles have been boiled for 3 minutes, drain them in a colander. Put the noodles into the bowl and mix well with your sauces and seasoning powders. Use the spatula to get your egg out of the frying pan and put it on top of the noodles. Try not to break the egg yolk, we'll get round to doing that later. And there you have it, my Indomie mee goreng with my special sesame seed fried egg on top. So we're back from cooking, and I have to say, I think it looks pretty good. Before I dig into the noodle, I usually sort of break the yolk, so the yolk kind of gives the noodle that really nice, slightly gooey, saucy, gravy feeling. So I'm going to do that now. It is oozing. That's very nice. I'm just going to mix it up a bit. I have to say, the smell is a little bit artificial. I'm quite used to it. That's kind of what I expect when I eat Indomie mee goreng. But yes, it's not as realistic smelling as many other instant noodles. The noodle texture is quite thin compared to last week's Nong Shim Shin ramyun, so in my opinion it's not as good quality noodle, but it's very sort of, you know, does look like instant noodle, curly and and yellow and stuff. I'm just going to take a bit of that yolk and I'm going to have it with some noodle. Yes, very tasty in my opinion. So I've obviously tasted real mee goreng, and I have to say this doesn't quite taste like real mee goreng. I mean, especially when you consider how complicated mee goreng is. It should have, you know, prawns and beef or vegetables and things like that, and those like and you know, proper fried shallots and stuff. I have to say, this isn't bad. This isn't a bad attempt at making instant noodle. It is quite tasty. And yeah, like I thought, the noodles are quite slim, so they're not as good quality as the nongshim, but they're still not bad, still highly edible. I can definitely taste that spice coming through. It is a little bit chili hot, but I have to say, surprisingly, for something that's kind of in Indonesian, or from that side of the world, I kind of expect it to be a lot more chili hot. So for me this is a little bit disappointing, but that's just my personal taste. Maybe if you want to kind of start off learning how to eat more spicy food, this is kind of not a bad way to try, you know, spicy food very instantly. If it was me, I'll probably also add maybe some little deep fried prawns, but I know that will make it more expensive, but more delicious. It's also quite a greasy noodle. So if you don't like sort of oily foods, you prefer more the soup type of instant noodles, I'll probably avoid this. But if you are after something kind of dry, that fried kind of, but instant, then this is the closest you're probably going to get. Sometimes like I just feel like not having soup noodles, like I just want to change. So this is like a really great way just to have something a bit different. Thanks for watching. I personally thought the noodle was fairly good, but could do with improving. I think if I were to put my gourmet mouth on, I'd probably give this a 3 out of 5 stars, but as it's a bit of a guilty pleasure, I should probably give it about 3.5 or 4 stars for an instant noodle. So I hope that gives you some idea of what I think about it. Now if you are interested in trying this noodle, you're in luck, because I once again have 1 spare packet of Indomie mee goreng pedas. Now if you do want to eat this, if you do want to have a chance to win this, be sure to quickly comment and subscribe before I eat it. Once again, thanks for watching and hope to see you in a couple of weeks' time. Selamat jalan! Goodbye! Comment on this video or email us for a chance to win free noodles. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and discover our Instagram. Stay tuned.